Hey everyone, I'm Diana. I'm a registered dietitian, a certified diabetes educator, and I have my master's in nutrition science. I've been working with people who have pre and type 2 diabetes for over 5 years now. And today I want to chat about 3 ways you can improve your blood sugar and lose weight at the same time without feeling like you have to go on a diet. And out of the 3 ways, number 3 is definitely going to be the most impactful. So make sure to stay till the end. So let's just jump right in and find out what the 3 ways are. So number 1 is going to be to replace your refined carbohydrates with whole or complex carbohydrates. And refined carbs are also sometimes referred to as simple carbs. So refined or simple carbohydrates include sugars and grains that have been stripped of all of their nutrients. So as you can see here on the left, this is a whole grain. It has bran, it has its endosperm, and it has its germ. It's got all of its nutrients intact. What happens in the refining process is that the bran and the germ, which is where all of the nutrients are contained, are removed. And you're left with only the endosperm, which is just a starch, a white starch. So these plain starches or sugars are then used to make things like white bread, pizza dough, pasta, pastries, white flour, white rice, sweet desserts, and many breakfast cereals. So refined carbohydrates, because they have none of their nutrients and they're very, very processed, they can actually cause rapid spikes in our blood sugar and insulin levels. And they only leave you feeling full for a very short period of time. Usually they cause a spike, and then that spike results in a drop in blood sugar. And what happens is it leaves us feeling hungry and it makes us crave even more sugars and starches. And eating a diet that has a lot of refined carbs and sugars is linked to an increased risk of many diseases, including obesity, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. But instead of eliminating these foods, just try swapping them out for their whole grain or their complex carb version instead. So here are some examples. So instead of white bread, just swap that out for 100% whole wheat bread. If you find yourself having donuts or sugary cereals like cornflakes in the morning, swap that out for oatmeal instead. If you eat a lot of potato chips, try swapping that out for some kale chips or popcorn. And white rice can be swapped for brown rice or quinoa or other grains like barley and teff. And instead of just eliminating these foods and feeling like you're being restricted, we're just swapping them for a different food. It's going to actually leave you feeling more satiated and more full. And it's going to provide you with a lot of great nutrients that are beneficial for your health. So number 2 is going to be to add fruits and veggies to every meal. When we think of dieting, we usually always think of restricting or eliminating certain foods. But for this tip, I want you to add in more food. I want you to make half of every single plate fruits and veggies. And here's why. Fruits and veggies are naturally very low in calories, but very, very high in nutrients. They have vitamins, they have minerals, they have antioxidants, they have something called phytonutrients. So eating more of these foods can help fill you up and help you maintain a healthy body weight. Plus, they can also help you decrease inflammation in your body, lower cholesterol and blood pressure, and lower your glucose and insulin resistance over time. And insulin resistance is the cause of type 2 diabetes. You may have heard of the phrase, eat the rainbow. And they say this phrase because fruits and veggies contain something called phytochemicals or phytonutrients. And these are biologically active substances that give fruits and veggies their color, and they actually help to protect us from many diseases. So by adding in more fruits and veggies and adding many different colors, you actually will lower your risk of type 2 diabetes, stroke, heart disease, high blood pressure, and even cancer just by adding them to your diet. So if you don't know where to start and how to add more fruits and veggies to your diet, here are a few tips. So incorporate some fruit at breakfast, like an apple or banana or berries, any type of fruit that you enjoy, try adding that into your breakfast. Another tip is to pre-portion your veggies ahead of time. So what you can do is chop up your favorite veggies and have them ready in your fridge so you can add them to your meals and you don't have to worry about them when it's time to eat. A great way is if you like smoothies, you can add some spinach to your smoothie. You can also add some frozen broccoli or cauliflower. I promise you don't taste it. It's a great way to add some more veggies into your smoothie. You can snack on veggies with peanut butter, so you can have, or even fruit, so you can have some apples with peanut butter or some carrots with peanut butter. You can also dip veggies in dressings or hummus. Carrots, bell peppers, cucumbers, they're all great vegetables to have as a snack. So try incorporating more veggies into your meals, into your snacks, just get them in throughout the day. So if you do experience glucose spikes or blood sugar spikes after eating fruit or certain fruit, what you should do is choose lower glycemic fruits and have them after a meal. So what this will do is it'll help slow the absorption of the glucose or the fructose in fruit into your bloodstream. So lower glycemic index fruits, such as these, will actually not enter your bloodstream as quickly. And then if you have it at the end of your meal, you're also going to delay that absorption of glucose. And number 3 is to swap some animal-based proteins for plant-based proteins. I know this sounds counterintuitive because we're often told to eat more protein to stabilize our blood sugar levels, because if we don't eat carbohydrates, then you're not going to see any blood sugar spikes or response. While this may work to control your levels, it's not necessarily going to fix the underlying issue of what has caused you to have type 2 diabetes in the first place. So animal proteins, especially red and processed meats, they contain a significant amount of saturated fat and cholesterol. So as you can see here, a 4-ounce serving of meat has about 8 grams of saturated fat and 104 milligrams of cholesterol. So when we eat a lot of these foods, when we eat a lot of saturated fat and cholesterol, it actually increases our cholesterol and also our insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is the underlying cause of type 2 diabetes. So on the other hand, plant proteins, so as you can see here, legumes, beans are a great source of protein, 24 grams versus 28, so very comparable. They are very low in saturated fat, 0 grams and 0 grams of cholesterol. And what they are high in is fiber. Fiber is a very important nutrient for our health. So you can see here, meat has 0 grams of fiber. So what fiber does, so having a high amount of fiber and a low amount of cholesterol and saturated fat, it actually does the opposite. It works to lower our cholesterol and it works to lower our insulin resistance and help reverse type 2 diabetes. And it helps decrease the inflammation in our body. So plant-based proteins work to really prevent and reverse type 2 diabetes. So if you don't know where to start, here are some swaps to make to your diet. On the left are some protein-dense plant-based foods. So black beans are going to be a great source, or any type of bean for that matter. Chickpeas, lentils, they're all really good sources of protein. Tofu is another great source of protein. I know a lot of people don't really like it, but there's so many great ways to cook with it. Go online and find some recipes. You can put it in the air fryer and make it a little crispier, and the texture will be a lot better. Hemp seeds are another great source of protein. Adding them to certain meals like your oatmeal or your smoothies is a great way to get some more protein in. And then peas, a lot of people don't really think about peas having a lot of protein, but they have 8 grams for just a cup. So there's a lot of great ways to incorporate plant-based proteins, and the best way to really reap the benefits is to have those plant-based proteins in place of the animal-based ones. So for some examples, if you are going to make a beef chili, just have a bean and butternut squash chili instead. Just hold the beef and just have it bean-based. If you're used to toast with butter and eggs for breakfast, try having a tofu scramble. Again, there's a lot of really good recipes online. Look for one and pair that with some avocado and toast. Or you could have oatmeal or a smoothie for breakfast instead. Buffalo chicken wings, you can make some buffalo cauliflower wings instead. These are just some simple plant-based swaps, meal idea swaps that you can make, but there's so many great ones. And if you go online and search for plant-based meal ideas, there's really so many great recipes on there. So definitely check out Pinterest or Google for really good recipes. So there you have it. Just to recap, 3 ways to improve your blood sugar and lose weight without dieting. Number 1, cut back on refined carbs and replace those carbs with whole grains and complex carbohydrates. Add fruits and veggies to every meal, and then swap some animal proteins for plant proteins. So you don't feel like dieting with this approach because you're not eliminating foods, you're just making some swaps. Or like number 2, you're adding in more food. So that's why this approach works so well, because you don't feel hungry, you don't feel like you're dieting, you don't feel exhausted and fatigued, because you're just making some swaps. And this will actually help you lower your blood sugar and help with weight loss as well. So let us know, which one would you try? Would you try all 3? Which is most appealing to you?